What if the next 4th and 1 at Soldier Field already has its closer? He's just not wearing navy and orange yet. Imagine the wind slashing sideways, the turf chewing up cleats, the huddle quiet enough to hear linemen breathing through mouth guards. And then the edge folds like a metal door. The quarterback sees a flash, and the ball's on the ground. That's the picture that's got this city buzzing. Blue-collar football starts where the snap hits the hands, and for too many winters, we've learned the same lesson. If you don't finish the rush, January becomes a colder version of regret. Smash that, like if you believe defense sets the temperature in Chicago, and drop a quick day Bears if you think the second edge is the missing bolt in a machine that's otherwise ready to grind. Because the whispers have been getting louder. The kind you only hear when people who count cap hits for a living start drawing circles around the same name. A big, sturdy, eyes-up edge who wins with his hands, not just a 40 time. The kind of player you use to force protections to pick a poison on 3rd and 7. Think leverage. Think power through the third step. Think discipline against the toss-on. 1st and 10, so the offense can't live outside the numbers. The breadcrumbs feel familiar. Teams don't yell when they're curious. They ask polite questions about framework and if-then protections. You keep a drawer open for that one move that makes the other ones pop. You make a few quiet calls to measure medical confidence. The contract contour, what a conditional pick would look like if playtime bonuses hit. And around the league, more than one set of ears has caught the same phrase. Exploratory, not parade routes, not done deal. Exploratory like a welder laying out tools on a bench before the first spark. It's the sweet spot where the math is. Not crazy, a player who can hold the point on early downs, fold the corner without overshooting, and compress pockets so your interior guys can finally eat. You know the profile. And yes, the name that keeps surfacing makes the imagination sprint. Bradley, Chubb to the Bears. You can feel the building flinch just thinking about 3rd downs with 2 credible edges. The protection can't slide cheap. The tight end can't save everyone. The ball has to come out a beat early, and in this town, that beat is the difference between a punt and a groan. Strip away the smoke and picture the fit. Early downs. Sturdy on the front side, no cheap widen-the-gap freebies, spill runs back into traffic. Money downs. A little wide 9 to create runway wide 9 means the edge lines up outside. The tight end pair with inside games so guards can't sit and wait. Sprinkle simulated pressure show 5, rush 4 so the quarterback's first read lies, and now he's suddenly late. It's not trickery, it's geometry. Get both edges honest, and the pocket becomes a shrinking room. That's when turnovers come, and that's when this crowd sounds like the roof is bending. Is there risk in the ledger? Always. Big men with violent jobs carry scar tissue. A move like this costs a real pick and real dollars. But the upside is clean, a closer opposite your headliner, and a front that turns 2nd and 5 into 3rd and 8 without lighting the back end on fire. That's Chicago football. Practical, tough, merciless in the 2 seconds after the snap. There's also the human math. This city doesn't need a talker. It needs a worker who clocks in. When he's right, Chubb's tape looks like a man who understands detail work strike, separate, finish, and that travels in wind and cold. You can see the ripple effect in the room. Young rushers learn that a rush plan isn't Instagram. It's studying a tackle set on medium versus long. It's baiting with speed, then walking him back with a long arm. It's crossing the face when he panics. And yes, complementary football is real. Short fields make any play caller smarter. One strip sack before halftime can flip a whole Sunday. Think how many winters we've watched the opposing quarterback hitch twice and kill the noise. Remember that feeling, that helplessness? Put a closer on the other side, and those hitches disappear. That's not romance. It's subtraction. Now, picture one series. Late 2nd quarter. Ball near midfield. 2-minute warning approaching. You show 5, then drop a linebacker out-creeper look, still 4 rushers, but the offense miscounts. The 3 tech knifes across face, the tackle oversets to protect the edge, and your new bookend takes the inside door and slams the pocket. The quarterback pulls it down, and in Chicago, that's a dangerous decision. Hands on the ball, peanut punch muscle memory, and suddenly you're jogging into the tunnel up 2 scores with your defense howling. Could this be the inflection point between tough out and problem in the conference? Could the right price land a finisher before the leaves turn? Could the front office thread the needle-conditional day 2 pick playtime escalators? Cap structure that breathes next spring and hand this locker room a closer without draining the future? It sounds almost too neat. And yet, tell me you haven't felt the same nudge every time a third down stretches into a conversion because the quarterback got that extra heartbeat. If your pulse just jumped, good, that means you remember what December used to feel like in this town. The only question is how far you go. Would you send a protected day 2 pick? Would you build snaps-based clauses into the compensation? Would you rework dollars so availability gets paid and games missed don't sink the room? Or do you wait on a cheaper veteran bandage and hope your core wins enough fair fights on its own? Tap like, share this with the one friend who still wears the same lucky hoodie from '06. And tell me, if the phone rings and the ask is a conditional day 2 pick plus a contract tweak, do you say yes before the rest of the league wakes up? Or do you gamble that patience will make the market kinder when the deadline lights up? And if you could replay one cold weather game where a second closer off the edge would have changed it all, which one is burned into your memory? If you still believe Soldier Field is a place where defense sets the tone, hit subscribe and tag the buddy who keeps yelling. Rush with 4. At the TV, let's roll up our sleeves and talk like it's a garage, the door's up, and the radio's fighting static. You don't hunt a headline, you hunt a job. The jobs on this schedule are predictable. Wide zone until an edge gets lazy. Boots designed to test discipline. Third downs where the offense dares you to choose between heat and windows. The answer isn't volume, it's variety. Keep your base honest on early downs, then flip into a rush menu that creates confusion without breaking coverage. A mirrored posture for both ends, one a line wide, the other in a reduced split forces tackles to pick wrong. When a guard's feet are bricks, call the TE stunt, tackle first and loops. When the center is jumpy, mug the gap with a stand-up backer, then bail him post-snap so the count is wrong by design. And remember the back. If he flares, your peel rusher goes with him. If he stays, you green dog and add to the rush. 2 lines, 1 truth. You're trying to steal a half second. In Chicago, a half second is the difference between a punt and a memory. Cost and durability live in the real world. No fluff. You pay real assets for a 2-way edge in his prime. You manage risk with rotation, keep legs lively in the fourth. You write the contract so snaps in production unlock the richer tiers. You keep escape hatches for the out years so you're not trapped if the body betrays the plan. And you keep enough powder dry to fortify depth at corner and special teams. Because November steals bodies. That's not romantic, but neither is blocking the C gap when your fingers are numb. It's just a job. And on the other side of this, you get tangible change. Protections that stop tilting. Interior rushers who finally see daylight. And a defense that can call gains from a position of strength instead of hope. There's also trade geography. Moving. An established edge from the AFC to the NFC doesn't twist a seller's stomach like shipping him to a conference rival. That doesn't cheapen the price. It clarifies the path if both sides see their windows honestly. For the buyer, it's buy down variance on third down. For the seller, it's reset slices of the ledger while keeping the room stable. If both believe their timeline demands clarity, a deal can exist. If not, there's the alternative. Plan you already know. Stopgap veteran for the rotation. A buy low traits guy. Or a deadline move when sellers get honest about tomorrow. None of those options carry the same gravity in January, but they nibble at the problem. And yes, the locker room angle matters. This city sniffs out authentic in a blink. The right kind of edge detail guy, not podium guy fits with the standard the veterans have already been hammering. That sort of presence turns practice periods into little tests, and Sundays in the clinics at the top of the fourth quarter. Now, I'll level with you. Chicago personal note. I can still see the play, feel the wind, hear the crowd hold its breath. Ball on our side of midfield, clock bleeding, everything tight. One more hit on the quarterback, and the punt team jogs out. We didn't get it. He hitched, he found the window, and the whole stadium exhaled into a silence we all know too well. I've been replaying that moment all week. That's why this rumor has legs in my head. It's not about star chasing. It's about never letting that specific silence settle in again. It's about honoring the work this front has already done by adding the one tool that makes the rest work cleaner. I don't need a billboard. I need a closer who respects mud, wind, and third dash and dash 7 dot here, single quotes S the truth you came for, save for the final whistle. As of right now, there's no public official deal, no signatures, no airport photos, no banners. This is responsible speculation, fed by real logical signals, a need that's obvious, a player profile that fits, and a path that could open if price, medicals, and timing line up. Could it happen? Yes. There's a lane if numbers meet need. Will it happen today? The most likely outcome for now is that the front office keeps working the phones, prices out this and other edges, and either waits for a softer market closer to the deadline or finds a lower-cost rotational piece in the near term. If the ask drops into that sweet spot of protected day 2 pick with playtime, triggers and a cap structure that doesn't choke next spring, don't be shocked if the matchstick flares. Until then, enjoy the buzz, keep the questions hot, and tell me straight, if that number lands where your gut says do it, are you ready to roll the dice on a closer before the leaves change? Or do you sit tight and bet on the room to grow into it without the splash?